dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Thanks for joining us on Heroes and Icons. Live coverage of the impeachment debate continues on WYMT. 12 new apartment units are giving hope to many in Perry County and surrounding areas. WYMT's Madison program shows us how these units are giving folks a fresh start.
It may just look like a new apartment building.
These units are specifically for survivors of domestic violence and their children, for them to live in while they have a chance to rebuild and recover from instances that have happened to them and to their family.
But on the inside, it is providing a fresh start.
This really helps these communities because we're bringing affordable housing into communities that need it and that is also located close to their job.
Wayne Kohler with National Housing Associates is helping them get back on their feet.
People still have to work, but yet their rent is below normally market rate rents and all, and so that's what makes them affordable.
Andrea Miller with Kentucky Coalition Against Domestic Violence says for people who were in unfortunate situations in the past, they can now begin looking towards the future.
And the whole entire purpose is for survivors to have a safe and affordable place where there are wraparound services in that community to support them as they rebuild their lives and move on.
A future that is much brighter.
So I have seen survivors move from homelessness to owning their own home, to being homeowners.
All starting with this safe space that they get to call their own home. In Perry County, Madison Pergram, WYMT Mountain News.
There are 84 units like these across the state of Kentucky. If you have questions about this housing program, you can contact LKLP Safe House.
It's been a cold and gloomy day here in the mountains, and that continues as we head through most of those evening hours. We'll go ahead and take you to a few of those cameras as we look along the Mountain Parkway over into parts of Powell County. It's been dry throughout the day, but still hanging on to those clouds. Even looking into Jackson right now, 26 degrees. It says it's feeling like 18. It's definitely been a chilly day out there, and those temperatures across the region up into the north, into the Big Sandy, mid to upper 20s. The rest of us have been into about the low to mid 30s. We saw a little bit more of that cloud cover move out and saw a little bit of sunshine early this morning, but you can see on satellite and radar all of us got in on those clouds for today, and now we're starting to see those move out, especially as we head into those overnight hours. So as those clouds clear tonight, in some areas we could be dropping into the upper teens, other areas going to be into the lower 20s. Definitely going to be a frosty start for your Thursday, but we'll start to warm up Thursday and into the weekend. I'll have more on that coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Paige. Kentucky State Police say they found the body of a man swept away in floodwaters earlier this week in Greenup County. Investigators were called out to State Route 2 and Kentucky 7 in the Lode community yesterday. After searching the area, troopers found a vehicle in a heavily flooded field. They later found 50-year-old David Rice. State police say Rice tried to cross the flooded part of a road and was swept away in the fast-moving water. Police say Rice got out of his car and tried to swim to safety before disappearing in the water. President Trump is expected to approve new sanctions against North Korea in response to its nuclear program. The bipartisan legislation was named in honor of Otto Warmbier, who died after being imprisoned in the country for more than 1 year. The North is now threatening Washington with what it calls an unwelcome Christmas gift, a long-range ballistic missile test capable of reaching American cities. President Trump has repeatedly met with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un to get him to commit to denuclearization, but those talks have stalled.
This to us is a great tool, and I think this is the method that can change North Korea's behavior.
The sanctions legislation is part of a massive defense bill that already passed Congress. President Trump has signaled he will sign it immediately after it hits his desk. A man is behind bars tonight after police say they found his young children outside in freezing temperatures. Keith Martin is charged with endangering the welfare of a minor. Last night in Jackson County, deputies say they received a call from a man who said his 2 small grandchildren were at his door crying. He said they told him that their dad had left them alone to go to the store. When Martin arrived home, he said his dad broke into his home and took the kids. Martin later admitted to leaving the kids alone. A woman has been cited after police say she sold generic Viagra at a Paducah convenience store. Police say they got a tip about this from a health inspector. Investigators say Thamila Masood had 210 boxes of the medication. She was cited for trafficking a legend drug. 3 teenagers are charged after Ali caught them.
If you don't feel comfortable doing that, don't do it. He did feel comfortable in that situation. It's great that he was willing to put his own life kind of at risk to help others. Police say the teens may also be connected to a theft at a nearby Best Buy. The early signing period opened today at class, which may be the best one in Kentucky football history. Sports Director Willie Hope breaks down the Cats recruiting class so far. Willie?
Yes, Steve, Kentucky cleaned up quite nicely today, picking up 2 top defensive linemen on the first day of the early signing period, which brings their class total to 21 thus far. Now, according to 24/7 Sports, the Wildcats have a top 25 class in the country right now, and many recruiting pundits are calling Kentucky's class the best one ever. Mark Stoops actually learned that they got Octavius Oxendine in the middle of his news conference. Here's what he had to say about this D-line class.
Another feather in the cap over there for the big dog. He had to work the phone. See, Octavius made Vince work a little bit longer today than he wanted to, but that's another. You put the 4 interior defensive linemen, and all of them are 4 or 5-star guys and big, athletic, talented guys.
Now, Steve, the Cats, of course, are still in play for Joe Williams. He's a 4-star cornerback out of Baton Rouge. He has yet to decide. He's actually set his commitment date for tomorrow at 2 p.m. So, of course, we'll keep an eye on that for you guys. And then also, one tidbit we want to add is that Walker Wood, the backup quarterback for Kentucky, one of Kentucky's backup quarterbacks, is now in the transfer portal. That has been confirmed. So we'll have more on that coming up when we learn more. All
right, Willie, thank you very much. The season 39 finale of Survivor is tonight in Los Angeles, and that is where Whitley County castaway Elaine Stott is. But before she left, we asked Elaine about her time on the island and what kept her in the game. Elaine was a fan favorite from day one, but sadly that strength is what got her voted off last week. She did have some ideas on who she thinks might win from her experience with them in Fiji.
I thought Tommy and Lauren were the front runners in it for sure. And that's part of the reason why I wanted to cut both their throats. You know what I'm saying?
Later at 6, we talked to Elaine about why she felt the show was a godsend for her. The finale airs tonight at 8 on WYMT and CBS. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, ever thought about cutting out alcohol? Well, it's actually becoming a movement among some Americans. Hear how it could benefit you.
And cold temperatures continue tonight, but plenty of sunshine is in store. We'll start to warm up, and will we see those warm temperatures for your Christmas? I'll have those details coming up in just a little bit.
When you see news happening,